Today we're talking about the secret weapon which will make your exterior day shoots look great. Hi, I'm Nate Caywood and I am a Los Angeles-based cinematographer, and I'm using this YouTube channel to help break down other cinematographers' incredible work so that I can learn how to be better at the craft of cinematography, and hopefully you guys can go on the journey with me. Let's get into it. Today we're talking about the Netflix TV show Eric, which has been out for a couple months. It takes place in, I would say, a late 70s, early 80s New York City. It's shot by Benedict Spence, who's like one of my favorite working DPs right now. He's incredible. He shot this. He also shot End of the Effing World, the second season. I really like his style, and so that's why I wanted to continue to break down some of his work. I'm finding that in my own personal journey of shooting stuff, that I'm really relying on interior shooting and being able to get the contrast levels and the control that I'm looking for by doing lighting indoors. And so I want to start challenging myself to focus on how I can control images outside, especially images like this, which are shot in the midday. Like, if that's like, this is not ideal. This shooting setup is not ideal, and I think that Benedict has done a great job, and let's steal from him. Okay, so as you can see, this is established in two shot. The two characters are in a park. They are being hit by hot, hard, direct sunlight, and that's what we're going to learn about today. So you can see that the sun might be up here, and it's just kind of shooting down this direction. If you can see that, that's kind of what it feels like. Let me create a larger thing. Okay, great, that's nice. So it's kind of like here, kind of like here, kind of like here. That's like where the sun is coming from. You can see it blasting on the top of our older gentleman's head. You can see it blasting on Cumberbatch's head. Look, like the heat is right here on his shoulders. So it's like, man, is the sun coming? Like, it's directly above them. But you can see that it's still far side keying, right? Like the sun, if this is a top view of Benedict right here, that's a terrible, let's say this is the top view of Benedict right here. Let's say this is a top view of this character right here. The sun is up here somewhere, lighting them like this direction, right? Lighting them this direction and very high in the sky. Let's see how Benedict Spence manages this when we go in for coverage. Okay, so this is the establishing shot. Very high, hot sun. Okay, great. Let's move on to the next one. Here we are in the second image. They must have shot this like immediately after the wide opening shot, because you can see that there's still like very hard sunlight hitting both of them. Far side key, it's hitting the top of this character's head. It's hitting the top of this character's head on their shoulders. So maybe it's a little bit further camera right than it is camera left, although it really does, like, look at the heat on his shoulder over here on the left hand side. It does actually look like, man, the sun must be directly above them. Basically, it's just straight above them, because both of them are getting, their shoulders are hot, both shoulders, like, this is incredible. Now, the question for me here is looking at these contrast levels, is like, this is the hot sun. If you're exposing for the top of this guy's bald head, which you have to, otherwise his head's going to be blown out. Now, how dark are they on the near side fill, right? That's the question for me. Does that mean that you need to put some sort of large bounce to be able to bring level back to them? If you're exposing for this and that's how hot it is, let's say this is a top, an above view of them, and this guy's standing here, and the camera is here, like this. Do you need to put some sort of bounce right here to bring level back to them like this? Just so that you can get this sort of texture. Because I think, and I'm not sure about this, this is so hot that exposing for that is going to make this very dark. So I would guess they probably have some sort of bounce coming back to them. Now, today I wanted to talk about this because I think it's really interesting. Is like, these are sort of shots that as I am coming up and I'm trying to become a better cinematographer, and I think this is a type of shoot that you could do in your films too, which is like, you just got to do a setup outside, two characters talking to each other. It's not ideal. You're not able to schedule. You don't have the resources to be able to wait until the shoot one coverage in the morning so they're backlit, and then you wait another 6 hours so that the second character is backlit and they shoot them. You don't have the resource for that. You got to just shoot this scene in 90 minutes and you're like, let's go. So I think if you have the ability to put some sort of bounce in front of them to bring level back, that would be very helpful. Like literally a white bed sheet if you have to. Foam core, styrofoam, anything to bring level back to them, right? Let's move on into the coverage. I think this is really interesting. You can see this level and has softened up on this character quite a bit. Like, look at how hard this is right here versus how soft this is. This whole light on his face is totally diffused, and it was not before. Like, look at how soft this light is, how soft this light is compared to previous scene, hard light right here. Super hard light right there. Super hard light right here. Now, soft. So what's happening? So what's happening is they're probably flying a 20 by silk above these guys so that they can get this softness. And actually, I say that they're probably, they are. And I'm going to show you later on in the video as to why I know that for a fact. They're flying like a 20 by maybe quarter grid, half grid, or something that still gives you the heat of the sun. Like, you don't want it to be like, you don't want to put like bleached muzz over their head and then it's just going to make this all super soft. At least I don't think. I think you're using some sort of like soft-ish diffusion, but it's not the most diffused that you can get because you want it to be flattering. I also think that there's again, they might be having like a bead board or a pancake, or a pizza box right here, which is bouncing level back into this guy's face. Basically, what you're looking at is like you build an overhead grip rig, right? So it's like you have your key grip, your grips build a 20 by silk to go above them. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, I don't have 20 by silk. I don't have a 20 by frame. I don't have a truck large enough to put a 20 by frame on. I don't have the stands that I need. I'm not able to tie it down. I don't have the labor. Okay, this is what hopefully this channel is being used for, is like us asking the question, how do big budget long form narratives do their thing? And then how can we do it? I think the thing is, the one thing that makes this shot more difficult than the following coverage is that he is dirty in the frame, which means that he also needs to be diffused. Otherwise, if he's not diffused, if this character is just diffused by like a floppy or something, or like a 4x, and this character right here is not diffused, we're immediately going to go look at this guy because he's going to be so bright compared to this guy, and that's not what you want at all. You want your eyes to go immediately, boom, right here in his eye sockets. That's what you want to look at. So I think for us who are on smaller budget levels, who are trying to figure out how to navigate some DIY stuff, I think you could probably, there's a couple options. You choose to frame this gentleman out so that he's not in the frame. You just actually move the camera around this direction a little bit, and you just frame it more like this as a single, which is what they do for the reverse coverage of Benedict Cumberbatch when we come to him. You'll see that. Or you either, if you have the privilege of having like 4x frames, which you could get online for relatively cheap, you put some diffusion in the 4x frames, you stand one 4x frame above this guy, right, like this, blocking the sun, a C stand, and then you do the same for this guy. So you have two 4x frames above each character on a C stand instead of a 20 by silk. So that might be able to solve your problem. Okay, that's one hypothetical. Now let's go to Benedict Cumberbatch's coverage, so that you can see what it is that he's doing. Same thing here, right? Like, see how soft this light is, and see how much level is actually coming back on his face. Just a reminder, because we've been talking about it a little bit. Here's Benedict Cumberbatch's coverage. Here's his dad character's coverage. Here's their wide. Look at this one. Very hot, very hard. Softens up right here. Softens up right here. So that's like sort of our key. It's literally the key light, but it's also the key. It's the fix for doing exterior day shoots when you don't have a lot of time, you don't have a lot of control, you don't have the privilege of like setting up an HMI back here to blast them with some sort of backlight. You're just like, the only thing that you've got going on in this scene is something flying overhead to diffuse the sunlight, and maybe some sort of board down here that's bouncing light back up into this character. right? Those are the two options. Okay, so in this scene, our character of Benedict Cumberbatch ends up crossing in front of the father character and ends up leaving him standing alone in the park. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out was look at Benedict Cumberbatch's shoulders right here. Look at his head. This is how I know they flew a 20 by or some other very large frame with the silk for this shot. Okay, take a look at the next image. Look at this. Look at that hard light hitting it. Look, this is the frame. This is the diffusion. Look at how diffused this is. Look at how hard this is. This is him walking off frame. This is direct sunlight diffused. This is direct sunlight diffused. This is undiffused direct sunlight. So as he's walking this direction, he's walking out under the frame in the two shot. Even more direct sunlight. You can see the frame is right here. He's walking out again. So that's how you know that they're flying some sort of rig above the two actors. Okay, you cut from this two shot of Benedict Cumberbatch walking out from underneath the frame, and then you come back here. This is the last shot of the scene as he's walking away. And once again, look what happens. Direct sunlight. Bright and unflattering and hard. He's walking this way, and the sun is back there, backlighting him as he leaves. So I guess there's an argument that I would speculate, because part of our job is to figure out how to schedule the day for it to work the best. I don't know this to be true, but I'm guessing at this. Say we're starting here. I bet the sun is going this way throughout the day. So they shoot this two shot. They shoot it quickly. You know, they move into this two shot. Oops, he still got that. They move into this two shot immediately after that. Then they do all the coverage. Maybe they do this shot right after that third shot. Right after this, they might have done that shot. Let's get him walking away. It's difficult to say. It does look like the light has changed a little bit direction-wise. But it does feel like this is still straight above and backlighting him as he's walking away. So it's just an interesting thing is like, what part of the day is this? It's just direct noon, you know? And they're probably just shooting it as quickly as they can. And then they throw a big silk. They throw a big silk above these guys' heads and they shoot their coverage. Okay, I think that's about all the time that we have for today. Again, trying to keep these short, around 10 minutes. This is a really simple concept. I want to bring it up because, at least myself, I'm always really wary when I see in scripts like that you're outside. And my instinct is to put these people underneath like a tree. But this is such a cinematic framing. Like if you look at the wide, it's just like, it's so beautiful. They're in Central Park. You get the skyscrapers and the apartment buildings in the background. It's so dynamic. It's setting the tone and the energy of the world that these characters exist in. They clearly had a very, very limited period of time to shoot this, like a very, very narrow window to shoot this scene. And so it seems like they did what they could to best achieve that look, which is shoot the wides, going for the close-up coverage, fly a silk over their heads in any way that you can. That's why I keep coming back to the fact it's like, I know that we, at least where I'm at in my career, and probably where you're at in your career, is that flying a 20 by silk above your two actors probably isn't available to you. So what are the other options? DIY rig, a shower curtain stretched across two C-stands that you hang above your characters. You know, you could build a frame with PVC pipe, and then you could just get like a sheet, like one of the stretchy sheets with the elastic in it for a full-size or queen-size bed. Just wrap it around the PVC pipe frame and then just attach those two C-stands using like Cardellini or Mayfer clamps and then just sandbag it down. I know I was just saying a bunch of words. If you don't know what they are, that's okay. All I'm saying is to achieve this look, you don't have to have all of the resource to be able to have a huge grip truck that can carry 20-foot pipe or frames. You can make this look work in your film with almost no resource whatsoever. And it's just about timing, it's about framing, and it's about understanding what you can fly above your actors' heads. You're going to want to do that when you go into coverage. You want to soften up the light somehow for it to be a little bit more flattering. But I love this scene. I love the way that it looks. I think it's really cool, and I think it's really practical to be used because traditionally, until this moment of analyzing this scene, I would try to avoid this particular thing happening. I'd be like, can we shoot it later in the day? Can we shoot it earlier in the day? Can I have more control? And the thing is, there just have to be solutions for tight schedules. And this felt like a really great solution. So congratulations to Benedict Spence. Really love this work. Okay, that's all I got for today. Thanks so much for sticking around. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. If there are any other things that you want to learn or hear about as far as cinematography breakdowns, like let me know in the comments below. I really want to try and build a community of like-minded individuals who want to learn more about long-form narrative cinematography and like why are successful cinematographers doing what they're doing and how do they achieve their look. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So if you want to go on the ride with me, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment below. Hope to speak to you soon. Cheers.